Hello and welcome to PlayStation Access. My name is Dave and I'm here with another of our top 10 lists. This time, oh no, the 10 spookiest games available on PS5. Why am I doing this one? The PlayStation 5 has been around for over 5 years and still the crypt of scary experiences continues to overflow and spill zombies, ghosts and inexplicable flesh monsters onto our screens. Which is probably bad for the local population, but it's great for gamers because there really is nothing like the thrill of a great horror experience. Or so I'm told. Can I get through this list without wetting myself? Let's find out. In no particular order, here we go. Let's kick things off with a big one. Resident Evil is probably the series most people think of when they think about horror games, and Resident Evil 4 is likely the game they're picturing. And the remake of the 2005 survival horror classic is the crispest, blood-splattered picture that's possible to imagine. When the president's daughter is kidnapped, hairdressing model/secret agent Leon is dispatched to free her from the clutches of a quaint Spanish village. Unfortunately, said village also happens to contain a very big fish, a medical professional with a fondness for chainsaws, and a population that wants to barbecue you. It's another shotgun-toting, zombie-blasting day in the field office for Mr. Kennedy, but at least he's got a good sense of humor about it.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
No, your eyes aren't deceiving you, this is a PS5 game, but Crow Country is also a love letter to PS1 survival horror, which explains why it feels like you're looking at an unearthed demo disc from the 90s. As investigator Mara Forrest, you head to the nominal attraction, now derelict, to unravel its mysteries. Why is there a gold mine hidden under a theme park? Why are the so-called guests trying to eat you? And do I really have to read all these documents? Okay, so that last one is definitely a yes. But for the rest, there's only one way to find out. By brushing up on your inventory management skills and rereading Escape Rooms for Dummies, because you're going on a retro thrill ride to Crow Country. If you're a horror game superfan, then you've probably already played MADiSON VR, but if you haven't, it was ranked in a study by the Science of Scare project as, and I quote, the scariest video game of all time. So what's the deal? Well, Luca gets a nice new camera for his 16th birthday, which sounds great, until he discovers it was owned by a former serial killer and wakes up trapped in a mansion with literal blood on his hands. Tough luck, kiddo. Now you have to solve puzzles to get out. And you don't know until it's too late whether it will open the right door or whether you'll be transported to hell. Armed with only a camera, you need to comb the claustrophobic manor, taking photos to uncloak the demonic forces within without being consumed by them. Try your best to smile for the camera, yeah? Alan Wake 2 is a lot of things. It's a dual narrative action thriller, it's a Lynchian fever dream, it's occasionally a musical. But first and foremost, it's a survival horror game, and that's why it makes this list. Picking up 13 years after the original game's conclusion, you play as FBI agent Saga Anderson, investigating creepy cult killings in the town of Bright Falls. And things only get weirder when the titular writer returns from the dead. From there, it's a buffet of Remedy's signature metatextual psychodrama, punctuated by low-budget adverts and flashlight gunfights. If you're in any way interested in the supernatural goings-on of Alan Wake as a series, or even if you're confused by everything I just said and want some answers, then pour yourself a cup of joe and sit down for some Twin Peaks-inspired brilliance. Narrative adventure horror games have been around for ages, but Supermassive made a real splash with Until Dawn, and this PS5 remaster is the definitive version of the choose-your-own-death thriller. A gaggle of teens reunite at the scene of their friend's tragic disappearance 1 year later, and very quickly discover this was a dangerously bad idea. Let me pretend to be shocked for a moment. You flick between an all-star cast of recognizable faces as they attempt to discover what happened to their friends while ducking a masked slasher and other lurking nasties. The butterfly effect structure means each one of your decisions has an effect on the overall outcome, and the comparative lack of gameplay difficulty means this is the perfect interactive experience to get your non-gamer friends involved in instead of a bog-standard movie night. Plus, it means you don't have to suffer through the truly scary experience of trying to gently backseat game someone who can't use a controller. Outlast. Just when we thought we'd gotten over the nightmares, you wormed your way right to the front of our minds again, in the form of the Outlast Trials. When you volunteer for a secret Cold War research program, you probably weren't expecting to be kidnapped and have night vision goggles surgically grafted to your head. But hey, as the saying goes, when life gives you the ability to see in the dark, you can hide from psychotic puppeteers, or something like that. Whether you're playing alone or in a group of up to 4, the goal is the same. Complete the assigned task and get the heck out. hopefully grabbing as many documents as you can while avoiding the map's resident stalker. You're not completely useless, there's a vast array of gadgets and gizmos you can use to create distractions or stun your pursuers, but you will spend the majority of your time hiding under beds to avoid an impromptu lobotomy. In a list full of paranormal phenomena and disgusting creatures out to murder in increasingly inhumane ways, Doki Doki Literature Club Plus blends in about as well as a school kid wearing a Smurf costume. Far from meaning it doesn't belong though, as that out-of-place feeling is precisely what's fueling the game's sense of unease. Playing as a teen heartthrob, you spend the bulk of the game wooing your choice of doting fans Natsuki, Yuri and Monika in an after-school club, all while sweeping the occasional disconcerting remark or supposed glitch under the rug. That is, until the fourth wall comes crashing down in the most dramatic way you could imagine. Go into this one with as little prior knowledge as you can, because the scares of Doki Doki Literature Club Plus deserve to pull no punches. If you're watching this video looking for underrated horror gems, then look no further, because our next pick is Cronos, The New Dawn. Hot off the very successful heels of their Silent Hill 2 remake, Bloober Team delivered a thoroughly bleak world of time-travelling existentialist body horror wrapped in a blanket of Cold War paranoia. You are Traveller ND3576, awoken from a metallic slumber in a nightmarish future ravaged by an unstoppable disease. Your mission is to avoid these stabby flesh lumps and make your way to space-time wormholes, through which you can travel back in time to the beginning of the outbreak to rescue humans deemed important by stealing their consciousness in a process both painful and fatal. Yikes. It's a tough job, but apparently someone or something has to do it. The atmosphere is the game's greatest strength, not to understate the tense gunplay and classic survival horror puzzle design, of course. Basically, it's brilliant, and it'll scare the B-ghosts out of you. It's about time Silent Hill got a resurgence and stopped being considered the other seminal horror game. But after a series of teasers and remakes, we finally got a brand new entry with Silent Hill F, which transplants the typical Midwestern psychological horror to the Japanese village of Ebisugaoka. High school student Shimizu Hinako feels like a woman living in the wrong time, and it's making her ill. Her mother continues to serve her father despite his abuse, and every part of Hinako's life is constrained by the oppressive patriarchal society. So when she starts taking pills for her tension headaches, the subsequent appearance of knife-wielding mannequins and sickly red fungus is the murderous icing on top of the depressing cake. For all it changes, this dive into sexism and gender roles from acclaimed writer Ryokishi7 maintains the very core of what made the series so special. Internal conflict manifesting as disturbing body horror. Every single sound sending a chill through your body, and that thick, ever-present fog. Basically, Silent Hill F is as comfortable in this list as you are uncomfortable when you play it. And last but certainly not least is indie sensation Phasmophobia, a game that asks the question, what if Ghostbusters was actually scary and the ghosts didn't actually get busted? The premise is pretty simple. You and up to 3 fellow ghost hunters enter a haunted location, gather enough evidence to identify the ghoul within, and get out without losing your sanity or dying. Of course, it's never actually that easy. What's more likely to happen is half the team doesn't make it out alive, and the one that stays back monitoring the live feed bottles it and drives away before they make any real progress. Doesn't make a difference to the people who've hired you, you don't get rid of the ghosts, but you can at least yell, "Yeah, I reckon it's a banshee, mate," out of the window of the van as you speed away. With some maps that are uncomfortably homely and others that feel like a nightmarish maze, this paranormal investigation game will get you saying just one more contract until you realise you've been playing for hours. And that was our list of the top 10 horror games on PS5. Please also remember that these are our picks at the time of publishing, so if you think another game does it better than any of our selections, or is about to come out, looking at you Resident Evil Requiem, then let us know in the comments what we're missing. Share the horror love. I won't read them. I'm scared of horror games. Don't forget to subscribe to PlayStation Access and hit the notification bell if you want to keep up to date with all things PlayStation and see more top 10s, informative roundups, or general video game tomfoolery. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.